didn't get off to the start we wanted, but I felt like he was the most comfortable, and just really the game within the game, his body demeanor, the way that he was looking over the defense and kind of controlling the snap count, and I mean it just felt like he had full control over what he wanted to do. We had obviously a lot of run pass tags where he had to make some decisions, and I mean he was in the 90 percentile in his decision making on where the ball should go. And then, I mean, it's just a thing of beauty watching him make. I can't stop counting how many, throws he made from one hash to the other. I mean, just NFL throws left and right there on the money. And I mean, that makes us better offensively when defenses know they truly have to defend the entire field at any time. And I think that's going to pay dividends for us down the road.
You guys took over, really the goal has been to be able to, if somebody takes passing away, be able to beat them running, and vice versa. How would you compare this year's team's ability to do that?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're kind of in the process of getting there, and we're in no way, shape, or form a finished product. I think that's the exciting part. I mean, if we were kind of peaking where I felt like we're at our best right now, that'd be one thing, but I mean, there's a lot of things I think that we can do better. We still had 4 or 5 missed throws. I think we had 6 drops between the wideouts and tight ends, and a few other things that we could do a little bit better. But there's no doubt that we have that potential to do it through the air or on the ground. And biggest thing offensively is just to kind of figure out, how they're going to play us. And some people mix it up throughout a game. Some people are really good at what they do, and they're pretty stubborn, and they're just going to do it the whole game. And that's kind of what we got into with NC State. They were going to play that way the whole game. It didn't matter what was going on. So that's why we continued to throw the ball like we did, and then playing other weeks where we were running the ball really well. And then I think also is our team. It doesn't matter to Travis or T or the quarterback. Whether it's a running or passing. I mean, obviously you'd love to have balance in every game, and when you play defenses that really kind of mix it up, then you do get that balance because of what they do. But occasionally you'll play teams where, they want to consistently not let you run the ball with the box count and all that. And you got to have the guys, number one, protection, and then also the quarterbacks and receivers that can do it. And one other thing I did want to point out, I didn't mention, is I felt like our offensive line did a really good job in protection. We had 48 passing attempts, which was a lot. They were challenged this week in their protection, and obviously we knew, that they were going to bring a lot of pressure and trying to get to our quarterback. And we had 2 sacks, and 0 of the 2 sacks were on the OL. One was on a running back, and one was on the quarterback for not flipping the protection. So for 48 attempts and them not being responsible for a sack, I think was a really good sign for us moving forward. But yes, I mean, that's where we want to be. I think when we've been our best offensively, we've been able to run it, throw it when we want to, and then run it and throw it when we have to. And I feel like we're moving in that direction right now.
Last week's game, big game, obviously a lot of attention. You guys may not play another ranked opponent the rest of the year, depending on how things shake out until the postseason. Do you guys worry about style points, keeping Clemson fresh in front of a playoff committee who's kind of watching everything around the country, or are you guys accustomed to how to deal with it?
Yeah, I mean, we really don't worry about that at all. I mean, I think now Clemson is one of those teams that if we take care of business, we're going to be where we want to be at the end of the year. And, I mean, I think you got a great example, obviously, this past week with Ohio State and Purdue. Purdue got off to a slow start, and Ohio State walked in there, and Purdue gave them everything that they wanted. And so, not that we're going to really need that this week when you're playing Florida State, because Florida State's Florida State. But I think it's a good reminder, for everyone, that in college football there's a lot of parity, and it's only you go out and don't play well. And we've had games, obviously, the last 2 years. We've had games where unranked teams have beaten us, and this past year, obviously, with Syracuse having to come back. But I mean, I think we're very comfortable and confident that if we continue to play well, that we're going to be where we want to be at the end of the year, and we're not there yet. You know, we didn't win the division with that win. We put ourselves in the driver's seat, but we've, you know, when you got that bullseye on your back and you know you're going to get everybody's best shot, you know, it requires you playing well. But I think one of the things that Coach Sweeney has done a great job of since he's taken over as the head coach is really getting our players to truly buy into playing to a standard. And maybe it sounds like coaches talk some places, but really that's how our guys are. I mean, it's a standard that we're playing to, and I think that's probably one of the biggest changes in our program is our consistency that we've had through the years. You're not playing up or down to an opponent, of really trying to play consistent every week, and that's what the teams that are there in the end, you know, they didn't get there because they had a great big win. They got there because they played consistently over a long period of time, and I think we have a pretty mature team that has bought into that, and I haven't seen anything. You know, our guys, I mean, I think it's a great place to be where you just wake up and you go, oh, okay, we're number 2 this week. All right, cool. I mean, you know, there were other years where it was like the biggest thing ever back in the day, and now it's just like you really just peek at it and move on because you know it doesn't mean a whole lot this time of year.
What's been the pass protection with the line? What's been the biggest factor in there?
Well, you know, and part of it I think is Trevor. Trevor did a really good job of flipping protections and changing based off of different looks. I think that was one thing that we were a little bit concerned with NC State. They did a great job on third down defense of giving some exotic pressures and different looks, and if you didn't have the line pointed in the right direction, they obviously got us that one time. That was the one sack that I was talking about where he didn't quite flip it the right way, but he flipped it about 8 times and got them coordinated the right way. And then I think also as guys being on the same page, defenses are doing a great job of not, I mean, the days of just 4 guys rushing up the field, you know, we welcome that. You know, now there's a lot of twisting and movement and games where guys are having to do really a 3-way bump where you got 3 linemen that are always having to go from my guy to passing him off to somebody else to taking your guy who passes off to me to taking your guy. And to do that, everybody has to be on the same page pre-snap to make the calls, and then everybody has to physically be able to do it to get the ball off for the quarterback. And so I think communication up front, and I think Trevor kind of taking charge and moving the back and being loud and getting everybody on the same page. But you know, I think for the most part, our OL have done a good job. Obviously, you know, he's gotten hit a couple of times, but when you throw it as much as we did this past Saturday, that's going to happen. But, you know, I've been pleased with the way we've protected our quarterback so far.
Is that what makes Trevor so?
What have you seen differently from the new coaching staff, defensive-wise, scheme-wise?
Yeah. They are different schematically. The last 2 weeks they've been a little bit different than they were maybe at the beginning of the season. You know, they do a lot of things right now, and that makes it difficult, kind of like preparing for our defense. I mean, it's very difficult just to watch. You're not going to see a lot of tendencies. You know, and Florida State has done a lot of different things. They played multiple fronts, brought multiple blitzes, play a lot of different coverages, but you know, overall what you see is that they're a physical group. They're going to challenge you at the line of scrimmage. I think these are the 2 most athletic corners that we will have played this year that can really run, got great feet. You don't see many guys running by them. So you got to be great technicians and have a lot of different type of route combinations for them. And then I just think up front, 99 just makes them different, makes them special. And you have to spend a lot of part of your game plan trying to find ways to get an extra hat on him because he can make you look silly in a hurry. But I think overall, you know, their defensive coordinator is coming from Michigan State, which is off the same family tree of Pitt. So if you remember Pitt, when we played them here in the past, how they really challenge you, have a lot of extra guys around the run. I mean, that's one reason they're, you know, number 1 in the ACC, number 8 overall in rush defense. They're going to have a lot of guys around the box, and I think the biggest difference is, they got the guys on the edge that can create some issues in the pass defense as well because they're very athletic.
When you were talking about Trevor flipping protections and things like that, is that what makes him a little different than most freshmen, that he can recognize stuff and do that that some other freshmen can't?
Yeah, I mean, I guess as coaches, how much you ask your quarterback to do, a freshman quarterback to do, is really how much that they can carry. Deshaun was that way, that as it went his freshman year, we could start allowing him to change the protection and change some things at the line. And Trevor, does a great job of that. He's very smart. Coach Streeter does a great job with him in the film room, him and Chase. It's great to watch him and Chase in the film room, and then also on the practice field and on the sidelines. They're having some high-level talks over there, which is awesome as a coach to see that. But, yeah, Trevor's very special in a lot of ways, but mentally it's been fun watching his progress over the last 4 weeks.
Coach, I was going to ask you about the one sack, not the one where Travis whipped on the block, but is Trevor's internal clock about where it needs to be, or is that maybe one area that he needs to improve on?
Yeah, no, he's done a good job. I think one area we challenged him that if they do drop 8 to take off and run, and that's what he did on the 1 3rd down where he slid a yard short. That was a good. That was really kind of what we were coaching him up to do, and they were playing 2-man, so they had a lot of guys dedicated running with the wideouts and only rushing 3. So we wanted to take off and run. The particular sack that you're talking about is one of them where he kind of got fooled, and so we were hot. We were 1 short, and would have liked to leave the protection on the other side, but that's